We're starting off high.
So we can get
I
a two fools agree on that one. Oh, by the way, look, we got the wide shot.
There was you had accountability. Now what I can
Now all you need is a podcast and a YouTube channel.
no, not even.
Where give me the money. Show me the money.
Apparently there's a Foolproof page.
Shoot the J. Shoot it. Live on Facebook.com/Foolproof Entertainment Network. I need you on Twitter. I need you to repost the Facebook pages.
To raise a human before I would
Trust a human to raise back wolves.
before I would trust a pack of humans to raise a wolf.
Right. I hear you. Yo, what up, fools? Welcome to another edition of Do Fools Agree. As always, I'm your host, Michael Reggie, here with my main man, Clifford Jordan Jennings. Is that you?
I froze up.
You froze?
I froze up.
Are you back?
Didn't know what to say. That doesn't happen too often.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't. You know, I stumped you with the standard intro.
I can't lie. I'm coming off of a pretty nice nap. So
All right. Good. I'm glad you got your nap time in.
I guess the gears aren't turning.
I hear
like
you.
they should be at the
I
moment.
managed to grab one too, so I feel you. Although mine was like 2 hours ago, and it was 20 minutes on the couch. But
Oh yeah, no. That's just foreplay. That ain't gonna never piss me off.
See, 15, 20 minutes is all I need.
Nah, gee. That's a waste of a lay down. Although I think I have said on the pod before, some of the best dreams are the last 15 minutes of you having to sleep.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You fall asleep and get into a nice vivid dream, and then it's wake up.
Well, it's because a lot of the times I feel like you're starting to come back to the surface at that point. That's also when you're at the most opportune time for like a lucid dream, where you can kind of take control of the situation.
Right.
And
Right.
my favorite are the ones like that where you can almost like rewind or alter it in the middle. Like
What
almost
kind of dreaming you doing?
almost be able to go back and like, no, I didn't mean to do that. Do this instead. And like, it's just like it happens.
Okay, I think I'm getting the idea of what you're saying.
It's kind of like the Zach Morris timeout.
Not saved by the bell, he's saved by the belly niggas. He timing out these hoes.
I mean, I feel like that would be... Would that be a good superpower to basically be able to rewind 30 seconds and either take something back or say something that you meant to say? I don't know. I feel like that would be a good superpower.
No, that would be a decent superpower.
Like, I don't
But,
need to go
you know-
far enough back that I'm going to screw anything up. But if I go back 30 seconds on a whim, or even a day, like sometimes just to replay a day.
See, the genie in me, like the guy on the other end of the spectrum, is asking, what can they do while I'm rewinding time?
Well,
Like,
nothing.
do they
Time.
stop dead?
and
Do
ti-
they stop dead in their tracks, or is the reversal of time something that you're not present for because you have that superpower? So something could have happened in the middle that when you get back in time, it's not the same back in time you were at the first time.
I feel like that only applies if you're going forward in time. If you're going
That could
back
be
in
right.
time, it's always what's already happened.
Well, I don't know, because remember they say time's not linear.
Well, fair
Unless your superpower is rewinding time like a movie, because going back in
That's
time
what I
could
was
be
getting
walking from
no,
keep
I was
walking
getting
into
it.
a hole.
I was getting it rewinding time.
Okay.
But I hear your point if you're going back in time. But again, back in time's one thing. It's what changes, to your point, in the middle if you go back and change something.
Right.
That's where you end up with the branching timeline theory. Which also leads you to the multiverse theory, which is every possible combination has happened at some point in some version of the universe.
Because then my question would then be, it's 30 seconds, right? Like, it seems like a minute, amount of time, but a lot can happen in 30 seconds.
That's true.
That could be the difference of a bomb being dropped.
But I feel like that localizes it to you. Because you're not going to be able to change world events. You're not going to be able to change world events in 30 seconds. You're only going to be able to change what's around you in 30 seconds.
Well, why wouldn't you be able? Because if that world event happened in the 30 seconds that you're rewinding.
Only if you're close enough to do anything about it.
Okay, so you're saying that you're only rewinding.
Unless I'm picking up the phone and calling somebody that can make something happen in 30 seconds, which, guess what? There is no phone line in the world where you're going to be able to get in touch with somebody.
So coincidentally, like, say, at the point of you rewinding time was also a point where a bomb went off in Russia.
Right, and the only way
no longer go off.
The only way I can The only way that I have any influence on that is if it is in my immediate vicinity to act on.
Now I feel like you can't rewind pockets of time.
You wouldn't, but the events that led to that bomb going off are still going to happen because there's nothing influencing them to change otherwise.
No, I agree with that, but at the same time, what if the bomb doesn't work the second time? What if we got a misfire on our detonation? You feel what I'm saying?
I mean, there is to your point.
But the only reason
it would all depend on like random chance and like how random is random chance.
The only reason why I'm being like this is because you know that there's that ultimate balance at the end of the day. And that's why I said if I'm thinking like genie, because the genie will give you a gift and also a curse at the same time.
Oh, yeah.
So if you were to have that superpower, I would imagine that it wouldn't come at,
Well, the only reason it counts as a superpower is if I can control it. Otherwise, it's not a superpower. It's a random event.
Well, I'm sure you could control it, right? But what comes with it? What's the balance? What's that,
I mean, the trap is that you get stuck in a situation where no matter how hard you try, nothing you do can change that 30-second period. For example, having a woman who's ready to divorce you. Leading up to that conversation, you could have said anything in that 30 seconds and it wouldn't have mattered. There is no magical combination of words, and what could happen is you could trap yourself in it and just keep rewinding, keep trying.
Yeah, at that point, it's too late. You know what
I'm
saying? Like,
exactly, that's my point.
Years.
That's my point. Now, on a first encounter, that becomes an awesome superpower. You try something that you think's funny, and she doesn't. She doesn't think it's funny. So you rewind it, and you keep trying lines until one of them works.
It sounds like you've been having a bad first impressions recently. This nigga want a remote in his pocket.
I mean, the click power there's legitimacy to that. I think the risk with that one is that you fast forward through too much. Like what happened in the movie.
Or what if it's a situation? See, I could be a real cruel genie if I really wanted to. What if it's a situation where you don't stop aging even though you're going back in time?
Yeah.
So even though you're going back in time, you're getting older.
Yeah. So if you use it enough, then that becomes noticeable, etc. Yeah.
Right. Then motherfuckers get to stop looking at you like a fucking brother and look at you like an uncle. Like, I could have swore I was just talking to.
Well, that tips into my inadvertent. So I was messing around on TikTok a little bit this week and did one of the age filters. And honestly, I didn't look that different, which I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. So that was my first inadvertent. Like, if you use one of those filters that's supposed to age you and you still look the same, What's that mean? Is that good or is that bad? But 2, the second time I used it, it gave me the old, like, the grandpa and then the creases here. And, like, I was like, I look like my mom's dad. I look like Grandpa Killigrew. What you got? Any inadvertents?
Grandpa Killigrew.
Any inadverts?
You look like a Viking bookkeeper. Like a Nordic accountant. like you're in a dimly lit room carving into a lambskin in front of a fire. Like, we're gonna have to pillage 3 more villages to come up with the funds for next month's festivities.
Damn it! Ah.
Your mom's in the back churning a cauldron.
She's found a way to rig it so that, no, she's stomping grapes for the wine because she's just running in place.
Right. Right. They just put her in a big bucket with a spigot on the end of it. For the end of it, she wading water. Wading wine.
I mean, at the end of the day, don't be jealous.
That's good shit.
We need more Black Vikings.
Right. You're right. You absolutely correct. No, that was just my way of distracting from the fact that I don't have an inadvertent thought.
Well, I'll go on with my next. I'll go on with my next one then. So, and we've talked about this a bit lately. The more I hear about, and it may just be because I'm stuck in the TikTok rabbit hole, but then I've also kind of gone and like looked at other sources too. The whole first man theory. That we were put here by an alien race that we revolted against, and how that ties into ancient Egyptian, ancient Aztec, ancient Sumerian, myth, lore, culture, history, however you want to talk about it. Is that the reason for the issues with race? Said another way,
yeah,
was Africa and the people in Africa more directly descended from those gods than the rest of us, and that would tie into the giant African tribes lore as well.
Well, that video,
the 7 foot, the 8 foot, like, could that be because those were more akin to the gods, and we've just gotten further and further away from that, which is why we're not that size and lifespan and blah blah blah.
I'm sure of that, yeah, but yeah, that video that you sent did say that, you know, outside life form found something here,
right?
like
a hominin
that was already here and mated with it to create
Homo sapien.
Human. Now, yeah. I'm not saying that. I mean, listen, this world is wild, G. You feel what I'm saying? And like now, we coming to find out that a lot of things that we were taught, even in our curriculum, weren't correct. You know what I'm saying? So far be it for me to just quickly dismiss a story like that. And I do.
Well, and it also has like the hieroglyphs that appear to show like, I don't know, alien ships.
Right. Helicopters, all that shit. Back in them days, that's crazy. And then the even crazier is the fact that we have no remains. Well, they found certain things, but the fact that we don't have any remains of like tools or, you know what I'm saying?
Well, one of the theories I saw specific to, you know, the first man or the alien progenitor theory was that it was one, maybe two ships that maybe either crash landed here or something happened. And the reason why you wouldn't have found tools was because that would have been their best source to make those things. So they would have disassembled their own ship to basically create and craft tools and things like that. And I mean, you got to. It's not necessarily
why
to your
wouldn't
point.
we buy one? Wasn't a clumsy
I'm with
fucking mechanic at one point that dropped his alien wrench out his pocket, or like? But
but this goes back to like the ancient cities comment, or the underground cities that aren't even ancient.
Oh, that they could be down there.
They could be buried, and we just may not have found it yet. I mean, we don't have a reason to dig a certain amount, and honestly, it's not cost effective to dig when you get to a certain level.
Or what if they had better materials? You know what I'm saying? Like,
well, better materials to me would make it seem like we should find something, right?
See, what that's not where my mind went exactly. Okay. Like, I feel like us as humans, while we may have found great materials, like steel for wrenches and shit like that, we all know that goes nowhere. It doesn't dissolve. It doesn't, like it's just stuck in the earth. Now, if I was an alien and I could create some sort of substance that was damn near indestructible for a certain amount of time,
right, and then it disintegrates,
and then it would break away and go back to the earth, that would be more, I would imagine, intelligent. I guess the word, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I hear what you're saying.
I don't want anything that's going to pollute my world, right? And if I can come up with something that's just as strong, if not 10 times stronger than steel, but will erode after a year's time, that makes sense from a maintaining the world perspective as well as a monetary perspective.
Or even if it was
one every 365 days or whatever it is on your planet.
Well, or if it was something that was crystalline that like harnessed energy in a way that we don't understand too.
That would make more sense.
And to your point, then like when it didn't have the energy, it was shatterable. Mm-hmm. But when it was imbued with the energy, it was to your point stronger.
You, like, we don't even have an understanding of the way matter works.
Yeah.
With a light, something that can traverse time and space. Yeah. We don't understand it. We're talking about walking into a 30-foot ship into a football stadium. We don't quite understand their shit. You feel me? So I don't know if I can say that you don't have something that operates beyond my level of understanding.
Right. And that's magic. Magic is simply magic is simply technology that we don't understand.
I mean, I wouldn't quite say technology, magic to me is the manipulation of the physical ignorant mind.
Okay.
Not even the physical, because you can do sleight of hand and put a card behind your fingers and they be like, oh, it disappeared. You know what I mean? But you were just manipulating that ignorant mind. It's not that you were doing magic. They were ignorant to the fact that you would slide it between your fingers and hold it. They didn't know that trick. So you got them with it.
Yeah.
They didn't know that you were tucking that quarter when you pulled it out of my ear. So you got me with it.
Yeah.
But I don't know if I would say, that's something different. I don't even, beyond our level of understanding, maybe we don't have a human word for it.
That's a fair point.
Every other day they trying to change what the unidentified flying saucer, unidentified flying object, unidentified anomalous object. You know what I'm saying? Like
unidentified aerial vehicle.
You feel me? Like you just say, I don't know. I don't fucking know. I don't know what this shit is. But you gotta identify it, so it's a UFO, a UAB, a UM. You know what I'm saying? Like, goddamn. That's just the what's it called? The arrogance of humans that you would be able to identify something. What is it that you saw?
Right. Right. And I do think that there is correlation. Now, at some point, I do want to kind of go back and look through kind of the declassified documents, but like, how much more has been caught on video since like the advent of whether it's cellular or mobile technology? Basically, number of quote unquote UFO sightings in like the 40s to the 80s, 90s, to versus like 2000 to now, with the advent of like mobile phones and video cameras on every device, and like
I would say it's comparable. I would say it's comparable. I will almost go as far as to say it's like the police officers with the body cam footage.
yeah,
Doesn't stop the situation.
correct.
But now that they know that there's a possibility, you see less of it.
Yeah.
Where I would say back in the day, because they knew we didn't have that technology, you had white and black mixed race couples saying they got abducted in the middle of the road. You had
right.
endless stories like this that took place. Now I don't know the last motherfucker. Well, I don't know. Maybe that's because there was a stigma on saying that you've been abducted, that, you know, you got labeled as crazy when you did so.
Yeah, like Russell from
yeah, I would think that a lot of that has lifted since then. You feel what I'm saying? And
right.
the fact that you don't just have motherfuckers coming out like, yeah, I got abducted. Maybe then the motherfuckers back in the day wasn't so crazy.
I mean, it's possible. Definitely a possibility.
You know, in this age of lying that we live in this age of doing anything for clout that we live in, it would only make sense that that number would get so much bigger nowadays, but you don't hear too much.
Right. Right.
Or maybe they've developed their technology in a way that they got some old neuralizer shit to give you before they put you back in your bed. So if they didn't probe you and your butthole's not hurting when you wake up, no evidence of the...
I mean, your butthole didn't hurt when you got abducted, right?
First thing I checked, I said, what the fuck was that? Was that a very vivid dream, or was somebody playing with my butt?
You know, if somebody put you in a sleeper hole.
Even still, I don't think they had a chance to, baby. I think I wowed the fuck out. You know you wowed the fuck out when in your dream you remember going somewhere.
Right.
I know if that shit was real, they instantly was like, beam him down, Scotty. Beam him down.
Get him out. Get him out.
You got the wrong one. They didn't even have a chance to neuralize me. They was just like, put the fog filter on so he thinks it's a dream. Shit.
That reminds me of hearing about, who was it? Oh, dude, we both played football with. Dono. Hearing about him in surgery for his ACL, and I guess he cussed
with him.
Yeah.
I thought you played football with him.
We did it. We did in 8th grade, or not. You're thinking Tainer.
Oh yeah, I was.
I'm talking Donovan.
I don't know. I can't think of the name.
He looked just like me. I borrowed his ID when we were in college.
But you remember, I also wasn't with y'all in 8th.
Yeah, but he was with us the year before too.
Okay.
Anyways, I just remember hearing stories about in his surgery, like how much he was cussing everybody out, and he had no recollection.
Right. Listen, but anesthesia is the neuralizer.
Right.
Listen, if Bill Cosby had anesthesia, he might have got away. No, I'm just
playing. Jello pudding pops.
I'm just playing.
I got a chocolate pudding pop for you.
And a good dose of fucking
Rohypnol.
Right. Right.
Allegedly. The lawyer lady up there in the booth is telling me to say allegedly.
I don't even think you guys say that because he didn't. He didn't. He had the pill version.
Fair enough.
Everybody knows the pill version of morphine isn't like when they got you hooked to the IV, Bill. God. No. All right, I'm done.
Oh, man.
I'm done. But that's very interesting. Like, that's some very interesting shit. You never know. And matter of fact, that episode of Ninjas and Butterflies, as annoying, I know motherfuckers think the same thing about my voice. Lord knows I do.
Nah, I mean,
I wouldn't say my voice, I would say my laugh for sure. But I've worked years on making my laugh annoying because I went to barber school with a whole bunch of savages, and your defense mechanism was laughing in a way that hurt other people's feelings. So when you laughed at them, they felt real little. That was the goal, you know? So my laugh is real loud, projected, and annoying like that, and I haven't been able to switch it.
No, I mean you and
That's where
I.
that
I
comes
think
from, though,
I think you
honestly.
and I both have gotten feedback throughout our lives on our laughs. Mine is one that carries and whatnot as well, so I hear you. The other feedback
Yeah,
I've
but
gotten on
yours
my
is
laugh is
more
that
regular, where mine is like I'm yelling at you laughing. You know what I'm saying?
Why I thought we were having fun and it sounds like you yelling at me.
Right, you know, that's how mine is. And that's how you gotta laugh to make motherfuckers feel real little when somebody just joked on them. They like, oh, he liked that a lot, didn't he? Yep. That's how I laugh. But yeah, no, what I was saying, you almost rocked me to sleep and you wasn't even doing nothing. You and your fucking Nordic magic that you got going on. Maybe I'm just ignorant to your Nordic ways. But as annoying, and it's not even just the girl. And I like her on the show, but her pitch is just so wild to me. Like, and she's the one that screams all the time. So it's like, oh my gosh, nobody ever told you that that's not good for ears.
No, it's not. That one in particular, like her, I think that's why I couldn't get into it. Was one her, and then the songs and stuff they do is just not.
No, some of their songs, I'm not gonna lie, they do be hitting sometimes. Not
Do
like
they?
it's a great song, but it's like, damn, that was nice the way y'all did that. And then especially because they make them up before the show.
Yeah. I mean, I hear you. It just, I don't know.
And I can't remember the last one they did, and they're not the best. Don't get me wrong. But whoever they got playing that motherfucking guitar is a mean motherfucker. That nigga bad, boy. He's bad. Like, I remember a couple songs that he did where I was rewinding. I was hitting the 15 relapse button backwards just to
hear the shred.
Hear the riffs that man, goodness gracious. He a bad motherfucker. Your niece just got an electric guitar.
Oh yeah?
Mm-hmm. She gotta play it too, because I said you gotta teach me once you learn how.
No doubt. Well, that's awesome.
Yeah, she's extra.
Well, Andrew's got a drum set. They can jam.
She's extra.
Oh man.
What were we talking about? Oh, I was just saying that episode, but the episode is after we shitted on them for that long. The episode is a very interesting one. The one that just came out today.
Okay.
Today, actually, it come out every Friday.
All right.
So yeah,
I'll try to give it a shot on Monday.
It was actually a good one. I was and I don't mean to say like actually a good one, like they don't have good content in general. It's just that pitch, boy. That shit drives me crazy.
Oh,
it's
yeah.
like
Well, and I think I struggle with it too. Like
chalk.
I've joked about this.
Chalkboard.
I've joked about this over the years. Like,
no, it's like chalk on the chalkboard. Fuck. No, I'm just playing. Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say like I struggle with that octave as well, and I think it's because I went to an all boys school and I never really had to deal with like yelling girls at all. And
well, no,
so like that
mind,
frequency just bothers me.
Yeah, I don't mind the yelling girl, but it's that like that baby yell where you're like holding the back of your throat, like, like, you know, like that's like, come on, like that's not. And I just don't understand, as much as I like the show and I know they got fans, I can't imagine that somebody's not saying lower her fucking microphone. That makes no sense.
All right. So there is something that was kind of floating between our text group earlier this week. And we got into the discussion, and by we, I mean I didn't really participate. I just watch all this shit go down. What was the big thread between you and Gordon on masculinity? And who the fuck are we talking about?
Well, no, it wasn't. So it was okay, and I do agree. Agree that there is a war. I do agree that there's a war on masculinity for sure.
And we've had that conversation.
Right. The issue that I had, and I wouldn't even call it an issue. I would just call it a counterpoint.
I mean, you were basically saying that dudes that shared this dude's stuff were nothing but simps. Like, proposers.
Right. Like, he was using Andrew Tate's indictment, I guess you could say. I guess it can't be an indictment until he's like legally found guilty or charged, right? No, you get indicted before
the charges are brought, right? No,
yeah. So, and okay, so here's where it came from. Is what I was saying is, I agree 100% that there's a war on masculinity. I just don't think that Andrew Tate is a good example to use, because he made his fame off of a portrayal of, and I'm not saying that he didn't have these traits that he was portraying. I'm just saying that it was very clear that he was amplifying said traits for the sake of entertainment.
Gotcha.
Now, what ended up happening is he ended up championing, I wouldn't even say he was championing, but he was providing fuel to a group of men, like I said, I would say from the age of 23 to 38, 39, like the type of guys who weren't well with the ladies and
the whole incel crowd.
Didn't get a lot of attention.
Yeah, the incels, the involuntarily celibate.
Bang, bang, bang. So those seem to be like the guys that were attracted to
what he was doing.
And now they got him. Well, I don't want to say got him at all. I do think that they're fucking with him for a reason.
Yeah.
And the crazy thing is, what makes him seem like by no means do I want to say Messiah-ish, but to those group of people, quite possibly, is the fact that he called it out. He said that there's going to be a day that they come for me. You know what I'm saying? For the shit that I'm saying. And it happened, right? Now the question,
some of that self-fulfilling prophecy, though, like
right. The question also becomes: were you doing things to make this happen?
Right?
You know what I'm saying? And you were riling people up with the things that you said, to a point that when people called you on the things you said, you had to backtrack and redact things out of your statements. Like, of course, I was, but I'm actually, like shit like that.
Yeah.
And that's where it's like, yeah, you can't hang somebody like that up on masculinity.
Right.
Because a masculine man is somebody who's comfortable with himself to a point that I don't need to amplify anything about me.
Exactly. And you don't need to walk things back, because you're like, I said what I said.
Right.
And yeah, it may have been a mistake, but
he was very much like that until it got to a point of these charges and him going on the what's the pompous white dude's name? Pierce Morgan,
yeah,
whatever, doing all that. Once he did all that, now I actually do have to, say, well, this I meant, this was for the sake of entertainment. But all I'm saying is, like, nowadays, out of all generations that we've been in, motherfuckers are impressionable. They attach to something.
Yeah.
They get behind something and they think that that's the end all be all. So what ended up happening is he became, I believe I initially said mascot, and I walked it back and I said, no, he's the avatar to the simp motherfuckers.
Yeah.
To the cucky, weak dudes that are like, well, why me? It has to be them. They're the problem. I'm just, like, that was the ones who they modeled themselves after a guy like him.
Right. Or they thought they were when
Right.
they were
Right.
They were modeling them. They were trying to model themselves off of an amplified image. It's the same thing that people used to say about like Stone Cold and The Rock in the WWE days. Those personalities, the reason those characters worked so well was because it was them, just the volume turned way up.
Right.
But in the
Stone
reality
Cold, I don't know so much. I think that was just him. He just added ass whooping to it.
Right.
And maybe that's him too. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. Maybe that's him. I heard he was a nice guy, and I'm sure he is.
His
But
podcast is
most
pretty
capable
solid.
Men are nice.
Right.
Most capable men are nice, and that was the issue that I had with Andrews. Every 5 minutes he had to bring up how I was a kickboxing champion. I'll fuck you, don't. I'll fuck you. Fuck you up. You're not. He even did his brother like that. And don't get me wrong, I do my brother like that too. But we both do it equally, because we've both been there.
Right.
It wasn't like I'm doing it to my little brother who never boxed in his life, but just watched me do it. Like, oh, fuck you. No, I say it to you because I know you're capable like I am.
Right.
Which makes it a fight for me, which isn't a good look for the simps out there watching you. You feel what I'm saying? So you masculine is now, I don't want to say bullying because it's not bullying, but you know what I'm saying? You don't have to tell somebody what you're capable of doing to them.
Right.
But if you're truly masculine, you just know and let it go.
I saw, and this was another, TikTok rabbit hole. I actually saw a good one today that was basically saying, like, women, if you want to say something, if you want to compliment your man in a way that is meaningful and will actually stick with him, every once in a while, in a bad situation or something that makes you uncomfortable, give him the compliment of, you make me feel safe. That to me is like the epitome of masculinity, is the ability to be the protector, the ability to make others feel safe with you in their presence.
I mean, at the end of the day, that's at this point, you know what I'm saying? At this point, that's all we have.
Right.
Because there's a lot of situations where your woman or old lady will make more than you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And that's not an issue. I'm not the kind of person that gives a fuck about that.
Right.
But one thing that...
No, but you know who does give a fuck about that? And this was another stat I came across. Women who make more than their husbands are 90% more likely to leave. But we're not supposed to be attached to traditional gender roles anymore.
I mean, that's fine. Get these motherfuckers something they ain't never seen before. That's what I do.
Right.
Now, like you want to reverse roles so much, dick ain't available.
No more dick.
Dick ain't available.
No more dick.
Listen, now the roles is reversed, right? So you gotta, I don't want to be wined and dined. Figure me out.
I feel you on that comment in particular, because the number of times I've heard, especially over the last year and a half, folks that want more than what I want. Like, well, what else do I have to do? I'm like, I don't know. That's your job.
You have to figure that out.
Right.
Clearly, I haven't figured it out for myself. It's your job to get to know me enough to where you think shoot your shot.
Right. Well, and that's my point.
Do what men did for so long you know what I'm saying? You know how easy it would have been to the box if you gave me a Mac? Stupid bitch, we don't have one.
Right.
Now,
Well,
welcome to the reverse roles.
now that you have taken away the traditional, and I'm going to use that word, and I don't know that it's the right word, but now that you've taken away traditional roles, like if you're not providing what a housewife in the 1950s provided, then don't expect me to seek that out either.
Wait. I'm not following.
Meaning.
Oh,
Figure out how to do something that I either can't or don't want to do for myself. Because without that, like, why do I need it? Why do I need you? If you think the box is enough anymore, it's not. It's not, because guess what? I can get it. I'm not worried about it.
And pulling out the coop with a lot, pulling up the devil with God. Right about how to put the stick in the box. Pour up the whole damn seal. I'm gonna get lazy.
But the point there is like, and this was another one I saw that was just around like independent women. Like, great, you pay your own bills, you have your own house, you have your own car. Welcome to being an adult.
Listen,
like we've been doing that shit for you and for everyone around us for years.
I'm not. Don't get me wrong. Like conversation wise, this isn't. I'm not trying down nobody. But going back to the point that I was making is, it doesn't matter how much money you get. A woman's always gonna need backup. They're always gonna need somebody to protect them, and that's just factual because you're not built the same. Goes the same for women officers. You can't go into a situation without having backup with you because you're built different. We can argue the points all we want, but we know it factually. And right now, as much as women wanted to argue that fact, it's being proven with transgenders in sports.
Oh no.
I'm just saying.
Oh no.
I'm just saying.
Well, we've had that discussion, and I think you and I both came to the agreement. Mm-hmm. Like, there's a men and women's division. There should just be a trans man and a trans woman division. But I get it, right?
Like, no, I definitely understand the fact that there's not enough at the point to where you would be able to do something like that. But like we said when we had Sam on the show, you can't have your cake and eat it too.
Right.
There's never been somebody on this earth, race-wise, religion, creed-wise. Well, that might not be true. Conversations for later. That has been able to have their cake and eat it too. You can't have what you want and do whatever you want at the same time. It doesn't work that way.
I mean, white folks have been doing that for years, so.
Somewhat, but see, even that's not true because
no, you're right.
White folks had it all planned out. They had it mapped out. We'll create the rules to the game. We'll do everything to where we'll only be the ones winning.
And guess what? The majority of us aren't.
No, it ain't even about that. No, well, yeah, now because it turned into greed over race.
Right.
But then something so simple as sports came around and they were like, we was wrong. We was wrong. We didn't think about all the rules. This is why we wasn't letting them in here in the first place. And what's crazy about it is motherfuckers might be like, that was just sports. But the thing is that sports has a bigger meaning. You know what I'm saying?
There's a cultural significance. Same with music.
It was based off of I don't want to say policies, but it was based off of like the
well, you take it
war. Like when you went to war, sports thrived because it portrayed the I don't know how I'm trying to word it.
It embodied what you were fighting for. Or it embodied the spirit of competition, or
that's definitely a point. That's that's one of them.
Yeah.
But
you're trying to go deeper, and I'm trying to think of the right words for it.
I can't find it, but you understand what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Sports had a significance to it, so when you saw motherfuckers like that succeeding, and you never saw it before, certain motherfuckers was like, damn it, our jig is up. And other motherfuckers was like, what? We didn't know this could happen. This gotta be some bullshit. What they doing? They cheating? Listen, you hear me? And that's how you know, that's how you know though, Hitler had respect for black folks. Because they were at the brink of war, right? When the Olympics were going on. And this motherfucker disrespects everybody by holding it. Well, I don't want to say disrespects because you know where his mind was at as a black man. But listen, what's an American sign?
Right.
The salute, the hand, you know what I'm saying? What is a sign? All I'm getting at is even the white boys out there at that Olympics wasn't saluting on the motherfucking podium on the placeholder sign.
Right.
They knew we're in his house. Respect this man.
Right.
Jesse Owens was a nigga that had enough. Listen, my country ain't gonna listen. Somebody about to listen. I'm holding up the fist, motherfucker.
Right.
And Hitler just sat there and he looked at it and he said, you know what? I'm gonna let him live.
I'm gonna let him go.
It's the Olympics. I'm gonna let him live.
Had to respect
it. Motherfuckers still talk about that to this day. Now all of a sudden, when he was just a nigga back then, he's an American hero because he was the first one to stand up to Hitler and say, "The power is with us. We number one, and you're unbeaten." Because wasn't he supposed to have the best team that year too?
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, to keep up with the whole superior race stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, we won, and it's power and melanin. You don't know nothing about
because you guys are more related to the ancient gods than white folks.
I don't know. Listen, and trust and believe. As much as I would like to subscribe to that shit, I'm 5'5".
Right. Well, you
know
know
what I'm saying?
There's enough.
My motherfucking. Now I'm a very durable 5'5". I will say that because Lord knows someone's been trying to crush me for a while now, and I just won't seem to squash. I'm like one of them roaches you step on and you know you got him. You heard a crack.
And he's still going.
Pick you, and he just scurry out like that's me all my life. Maybe I'm just waiting for the shoe to come up off my back so I can scurry my ass away. God damn. Like,
and now entering the ring, Cliff the Roach Jennings.
You know what, though? And keep it a buck. That wouldn't be a bad name if I had good footwork. But ever since I got shot, I lost all the coordination in my, not all of it, of course. I can still dance, but I can't like jump rope. Like I can't do all that shit. Like
dude,
I used to do.
I remember you hitting standing backflips when we used to wrestle in the backyard.
I mean, but I can still do that. It's the landing that,
right.
You know.
So you can still moonsault. You can still hit the moonsault where you land flat.
It's
but...
the land, right. If I land on my stomach, we good. But I get scared landing on this here leg doing shit like that. I think I have done a like a little running round off one time after I got shot. And I landed it, but I never did it again after that.
It's usually about once a year that to prove a point, I'll hit a cartwheel. And then I'm like, this fucking hamstring.
Oh, I can still cartwheel my ass off. Well, I guess my cartwheels end up turning into round offs,
right? Where
I don't complete the cartwheel and I go into the stance like I'm about to do a flip, and I just like that.
Nah, I'm good. I'm good.
Yeah, this is more impressive than a cartwheel, so take this.
The one that I have lost that I used to be able to do real well was the kip ups.
The what?
The kip up. Where you're on your back and kick up.
And kick. Yeah, I used to be able to do that too.
I used to be able to do it in full pads at 315 pounds.
I did too.
Those were the good old days. Speaking of the good old days, we're heading to the farm this upcoming week. Camp of Champions.
What farm? Oh yeah. So that's just a tradition now.
Yep.
That's what's up.
We'll see how it goes.
Well, wait, no, that was that Whitehall?
Yeah.
That was Whitehall.
It was.
Because I said y'all got a whole lot of black folks up there. Whole lot of young black men up there.
Yeah.
And they was on the news like, I ain't never seen nothing like this.
They got us out here in tents, man.
I don't know where these motherfuckers took me. But I ain't never seen
So
nothing
someone at work made the suggestion that, like, as part of that trip, instead of practice one day, or one of the 3 practices in a day, instead of doing that, we should have them work on the farm to basically say thanks to this gentleman that lets us come out and do this thing there for free.
Right.
And the conversation kind of came full circle because this woman then informed to tell me that her stepfather had, you know, a 200-acre farm, and she used to work on it. And this is a young black woman, and that her and her siblings used to sing slave songs when her parents would make her do this.
Right.
And all I could think of was, well, can't do that because we are not going to be out there with the head coach, myself, and Jeff on camera while they're singing slave songs.
And you know what, though? I was thinking about that when you said that shit. Beyond the slave songs, I don't think that you can make... Yeah.
I don't think you can do it.
I don't care how it sounds. I especially...
Like I said, this was not my idea. This was a suggestion made to me that I immediately said.
For it at first,
and that's exactly how the conversation went. The conversation went exactly this way. I'm all for... Oh, maybe not.
Yeah, you're going to have to compensate that monetarily because you can't make a little black boy work on acres of land that could have been theirs that they never received. You know what I'm saying? Like,
all I can imagine.
Still waiting on they 40 acres and a mule, and you want me to plow corn?
All I can think of is like the TikTok videos that would come out of it.
Listen.
Wade in the water.
With no water, nowhere around it, they ain't have to worry about that. That farm was one of them that you needed to avoid on the I'm just saying. But you making your truck up along the railroad, the water ended a while ago. Now you need to go north, baby. Turn that way.
Up through them cornfields.
Listen, go up there and be real quiet so the owner doesn't come out. He sleeps in a far side, so if you see the bedroom light come on, then you know you need to truck it. That's crazy.
You know what that immediately takes me back to? Do you remember us on the Underground Railroad at Camp Mohican?
Hell no.
What?
Hell no. We was on the Underground. Was it real?
No.
Oh.
It was Camp Mohican when we were in, I don't know, 1st grade, 2nd grade. And we went to an overnight camp. And we had like checkbooks and stuff. And I distinctly remember you being there because you couldn't remember someone's name and you were like, Miss Teacher Lady.
Oh, yeah, I do remember that. Yeah, I do remember that.
But we were a group, as part of one of the activities in that camp, we were a group of runaway slaves. And
I don't remember that.
And I remember them taking one of us away. I can't remember who. And they slapped a whip down on like the side of the building and they told this kid to basically scream. You don't remember this?
They was bugged out.
Y'all blocked it out.
They was bugged out in the 90s, yo.
We did some wild shit.
Remember that. I do remember.
You remember Miss Teacher Lady?
Yeah, wait, no, I definitely remember her. I remember her. She was always out there on the lunch too. We wasn't with her on the. But was that when we had to walk up that thing and they took us in that little the little old school shack and they made me put on a dunce cap and stand in the corner?
It was the same trip. Yep.
Yeah, I remember that trip. That actually was a very fun trip. I do not remember the slave shit though.
They basically pretended we were on the Underground Railroad.
Listen,
making our way from building to building. And then we got caught. And then somebody got us out.
And I'd have been kicking all the pale faces down in the back of the knee, like, we got a head start, boys, let's go. They ain't gonna make them work as hard. Let's get out of here.
But you don't hear about these experiences with kids anymore.
The 90s was wow. Yeah. The 90s was a while away.
I mean, ultimately, I don't know. I felt like it gave good perspective. Because it made you live through it to a certain extent, right? And kids that aren't otherwise exposed to that, like, I don't know. I feel like it was a positive experience.
Yeah, don't be the superintendent that gets fired because you thought that having the kids pick cotton was a good cultural bonding. What the fuck is this shoe on my back?
Oh, man.
That's funny, though. That was a good trip though.
It was.
That was a good trip. I do remember that. I remember we
had like little checkbooks. We had like our own little like commissary. Yeah, we had to write checks. It was a very informational camp for whatever grade we were in, because it couldn't have been more than second or third because you were there. And fourth, I think, is when you left.
I remember I ate toothpaste. Motherfuckers was hungry. You hear what I'm saying? Motherfuckers was hungry.
Oh man, I don't know where else we were going with that. I don't remember.
I don't either. We just wanted to bring up us being slaves.
Slaves. And this is where my love for the black community started.
I imagine it started a little before that. That was when the understanding set in. And you're like, you know what?
No, you know when the understanding set in? The understanding set in the first time I got pulled over with a brother in the car, Gordon. Second time I got pulled over with a brother in the car, you. Third time I got pulled over with a brother in the car, Carl. Like,
was I the only one to go to jail?
You were the only one that got snatched up.
You know, on true myself par.
Something falling out of the pant leg, kicking in the dirt. I don't know what that was. Allegedly.
You tell me, you the expert, motherfucker. It's not my job. It's your job.
Dude, that was the quietest car ride home ever.
You know
all I heard in the backseat is, my mom gonna kill me. My mom gonna kill me. My mom gonna kill me.
Nah, my hands look like this, so your ass can be regular colored, not red.
Right. And I remember the debate the whole way home of whether or not he was gonna tell them to see if they actually called her.
Fuck, my parents were the only ones called, and both of them said, we ain't getting it.
He's stuck.
That's fucked up. My great uncle had to drive 2 hours
right
at 4 a.m.
to come get you.
Yep, come pick me up.
They separated us.
And when I checked out and we hit the E-way, he said, nephew, you want to hit this?
Oh man.
Oh shit, man. That was the days. That was graduation.
That was a great trip. That was like the August before I left to go to camp for football.
Right. No, that was a good.
You know what else I remember about that trip? And this is still one of my favorites.
Not all of it, but for the most part.
I mean, the rest of the day was fun.
The day prior, up until that was great. I mean, even that. I mean, I don't know that I would have changed anything.
I would have. I would have told y'all to chill the fuck out till we got in the freeway.
We were on the freeway.
We were not. We weren't. We got pulled over by local cops that said I went left of center when I was changing into the right-hand lane.
Well, that's what happens when you don't let black folks travel. They think they're on the freeway.
Nah, but my favorite memory of that trip is towards the end of the day. It was the last ride that we were going on. We were grabbing one last coaster before we hit the parking lot. And you had won this stuffed monkey while you were playing basketball. And you are fighting this stuffed monkey in line. And this little girl ahead of us is just dying. Watching you play fight this stuffed monkey that is wrapped around your back. Come over here, monkey. Monkey.
I do remember that.
Oh, man.
I gave her that monkey.
I think you did.
I didn't want it. What am I going to do with this monkey?
It might have kept you warm in the fucking Sandusky cell.
Oh, they would have took it from me.
You should have said it was your emotional support monkey.
No, they wouldn't have checked him in. They wouldn't have cavity searched him too.
That monkey could have seen some things that night.
That monkey, and if they did let me have it, it'd have been turned inside out and flat by the time they tossed it into my cell.
No stuffing left.
You hear me?
They would have raped that monkey.
It went from a pillow to a costume real quick.
Oh, shit.
And yeah, I thought about that statement. I was in the place that they might have made me put it on.
Oh, man.
Life.
It is. It is. All right, man.
One large shoe on your back.
No doubt.
But the key is to be a roach.
Scuttle.
Keep crawling. If they got the shoe on your back pressed on you, then you army crawl through that motherfucker. And as soon as they let up some of that weight, you take off like a roach. You hear me? You out of there.
Oh, man. Oh, I know what I wanted to ask you.
Ask it.
So I've got A-Reg on the Oculus finally, and he's actually like using it and enjoying it.
I might have to reset mine and do it like from, but then I'll lose all the games. I don't know how. I don't know. My shit's not letting me in. It's like saying I gotta log into the Meta, and I can only do it through Facebook or and it's not letting me make the account. I guess because it's saying I have one already, and then it's not letting me use my Facebook because I don't remember that password. So my shit's just been dead.
Facebook might let you like ask a friend to help you unlock your account.
Really? I don't even know who that would be.
Well, if I'm on there,
how could they help?
I think there's a way, like if you can click I don't remember. There's a way to do it.
Okay.
So we might have to figure that out because he and I have gotten on to what is it? So he and I have been playing Broken Edge, which is a player versus player combat game. Swords.
Is that the? Okay, so it's not the one where you got guns too, like you got swords and guns.
Not this one.
And you can have your superpower. You can slow down
Time and all that. Yeah.
Yeah, so people can shoot at you, and you can slow it down and move out the way and
Oh, nice.
shoot back at them while they're like in a
Oh, I don't know that one. I'll have to
slow.
check that out.
But it's like set up like it's like pixelated kind of.
Gotcha.
Like all the people are red that you're shooting at,
Okay.
and they look like mannequins kind of.
Yeah.
Like, no
I've seen that
features.
style.
Uh-huh.
So this Broken Edge
But
game, the Broken Edge game is cool because it's basically sword and shield. And when your swords
like that.
when your swords hit each other, it breaks your blade at the point on both swords where they made contact. So your blade keeps getting shorter and shorter and shorter.
Can you stab somebody with like
a
nub?
You can.
Even with the nub?
Yes, you can. And you can deflect it with a shield. And if you play as the Viking, you can take axes too. And it's cool.
So does the shield break away as you hit it as well?
It does. It does. The shield can only take like 3 or 4 shots. So there's that one. There is, what is it? It's like Battle of the Gargantua, which is another sword and shield game, but that's a co-op game where you basically just keep fighting armies as part of, and you've got like, you can keep upgrading your sword or whatever, but you're basically doing that.
Oh, that's a workout.
Oh yeah, and then the last one is one that he can't play, that is one of the zombie horde games that I would love to play with you.
What's it called?
That one is The Night of the Fall or something like that. I'll have to look it up, and I can send you. I'll share because you can share discount codes or whatever on that one too.
Okay. Yeah, no, I just gotta get back into it once I get, and it might just be a situation of me not being able to remember my password.
Yeah.
Because I know what email it would have to be. I just don't know, like what my password would be for it.
Yeah. So we've gotten into that a little bit lately. It's been fun.
Yeah, that could be. That could be. You got bread, get another one.
I mean, I've got 2.
Oh, you already got 2. Right.
Well, I just got the other one, yeah.
Right, yeah.
So that he and I can play together.
Right. Me and my pops used to be on there. That was my number one partner.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Well, we almost got a full squad for Star Trek Bridge Commander, so.
My pops ain't playing no Bridge Commander. He'd be annoying. Can I hop on the outside of the ship? Put me out there. And
let me fight out there.
I'll jump off to the ship when it comes, and I'll fight him when I. He's stupid. That's not even an exaggeration of him. That's him.
That sounds spot on, actually.
I want to control shit. Can you beam me over there to their ship? And I'll fuck them up real quick, and then
what he needs is the Klingon battle simulator, and have God a Batleth and a Duck Talk in his hand.
Amber Alert in Worthington, Ohio.
Oh no! I saw my phone go off.
God bless. 2004 black Chevy Suburban, Ohio, KAS5. Oh, I'm dyslexic. KAS 4505. For anybody who's listening and driving.
There you go.
Slim chance.
No, because they'll be listening to it tomorrow.
Right.
All right, man. What else you got? Anything?
Maybe they run into them tomorrow. Love everybody and keep roaching it up.
Amen. Which, by the way, tying that back to earlier conversations around ancient Egyptians and Sumerians. Oh, there's the Amber Alert.
Oh, see?
Just came through on mine. Amen. Amen Ra. That's why it's Amen. For anybody that didn't know. That's why we say amen, is for Akhman Ra. But do us a favor, like, share, subscribe, tell a friend to tell a friend, tell an enemy, tell him to
Tell that
troll.
motherfucker to troll.
And with all that, peace out, fools.